Alright, today I'm going to be taking a look at AVAX. I'm going to be looking at market Cipher and then going through doing some TA and marking out some key levels. So first, let's just go over market Cipher quick. So recently we did get this weekly bullish divergence for AVAX at a very key level at the macro value area low. If you basically take a fixed range from the beginning of 2021 to present day, we got a bounce right from the value area low there. We also had a weekly level there from back here. Money flow, however, wasn't looking the best. It was in a downtrend as we were forming this bull div, and was in the red when we formed it. Right now we're getting a little move to the upside with money flow, but nothing that would scream super bullish to me. But if we take a look at the 3-day, the money flow has been in an uptrend since we started forming this anchor wave and this divergence. The money flow here was diverging as well, and it does look like this current wave could top out here soon. The VWAP is pointing down right now, and it's looking a bit topish. Pretty much same thing on the 2-day, except we actually did print that red dot up there, but the money flow has crossed into the green on the 2-day, and it's still in an uptrend. It's still pointing upwards. The daily is pretty much the same thing. The money flow has crossed. However, we do have a bear div on this daily time frame with the momentum wave, which if you look at the last time we got a bear div on the daily was back here, and that led to a drop, as you can see. But I also think because of the money flow, it's definitely possible that we keep moving up and maybe see continued bear divs here, and maybe the top signal comes later when the money flow is actually trending to the downside. The money flow is extremely thick here on the 12-hour, and looks like this VWAP is clipping to the upside, potentially looking to turn around and maybe print another green dot above the 0 line. Let's see, 8-hour is kind of backing up that theory. The VWAP is closer to the 0 line. It's showing an inward curve rather than an outward curve. And on the 4-hour, we did just print this trigger wave here. Money flow has been in a slight downtrend, but it's not looking super bearish. Kind of just looks like it's flattening out here. And you could even say that we have a hidden bullish divergence here, which could be a sign of continuation. So overall, we're getting some pretty mixed signals. We got some bear divs on some of the higher time frames, but money flow on a lot of time frames is still looking pretty bullish. And just based off of that, I think there is a decent possibility that we continue trending higher and maybe look to top out at a more significant level. And if that happens to be the case, then I do have some pretty key levels above us that I would be interested in. So firstly, we are above the point of control of this more local range that we're in, and that sort of makes me think there's a decent chance that we will make our way up to the value area high. And we do have a golden pocket sitting right at that value area high from that high to that low. And we also have an untapped monthly level right in that area too. If I go to the monthly time frame, you can see these two monthly candlesticks. The bodies of the candle were unable to close above this level here. We had wicks above this level, but to that right there is a monthly level, and price has not come back up to test that level since we created it. So I think that is some very nice confluence there around that golden pocket value area high. And there is also an NDPOC right in that area, and this NDPOC is from way back here. And I actually made a discovery while I was doing my AVAX TA here. I wanted to check the NDPOCs from way back then, but if you use this indicator right here, the session volume profile, you'll know that it doesn't go back super far. You kind of have to mark out the NDPOCs as they happen because they only go back a certain amount of days. And I don't think I've seen anybody else do this before, but I wanted to test something out. wanted to see if using the bar replay tool will allow you to see the NDPOCs from the past, from wherever you want. And well, I tried it out, and it just so happened to work. So yeah, that's a good bit of information to know. You can use the bar replay tool to go back and mark older NDPOCs. And so I did that. I marked out these NDPOCs here. And so I would say that this zone in between 24.5 and 22.5 is going to be a very key resistance for us. And we definitely have the potential to form continued bear divs here if we get a rejection from this level. And maybe then we can start to see the money flow taking a turn to the downside as well. And then in between 26.6 and 25.8 is the 786 of that same fib and another NDPOC. Plus, if you sort of extend this box over, you could say this is also a support and resistance flip. We had support there, resistance here, some resistance here, and you could say some support here, even though we fell way down below this box, but then we recovered it. And we even had a little resistance test right there before we continued that dump. So not the strongest support resistance flip, but it's still there. And then above that, in between $29.8 and $28 is another pretty key level. It is around the highs of this range. We have a untapped weekly and an NDPOC, and you may even want to extend this box upwards because we could potentially CDW these highs as well. We also got a wick up here, so I'd probably be watching these highs as well, but I'll leave my box just around that NDPOC, and then if we lose that, I'll be looking at the wicks. So definitely some pretty interesting levels of resistance above us, and if we continue this move and we see continued bear divs, I will be interested in those zones. But let's say we start retracing now. We do have some levels of support I would be interested in as well. So first off, the 382 of this whole move is coming in right around the point of control of this local range. And if this is going to be a strong uptrend, if we're going to see a continued uptrend here, then a bounce off the 382 would sort of back up that theory, as well as us holding the point of control now that we're above it. That would be more of a bullish case, I'd say, if we see a bounce from there. But if we don't hold support there, the golden pocket is coming in right around the value area low, and this is also a pretty key support resistance flip here. So I would definitely be watching that value area low. Even going back to this zone over here, we found resistance in this area as well. So this is a pretty key zone right here, around $15. And then for a more macro support, I would say, the point of control and the value area low of the macro range, we did find support in this area already, and we did form an untapped monthly and untapped weekly level right down here at the lows. So maybe if we see a move down to there, we could get a juicy double bottom or something like that. You know, I might even say split this into two boxes because we could also bounce off the macro point of control here. The 786 is lining up very nicely with that. But overall, I'd say this whole zone is pretty key support for us because, well, if we lose it, then we're making new lows. And let's say we do continue pumping to the upside and we just lose this range, we break out of it. Well, at that point, I would say it is a lot more likely then that we make our way all the way up here to the macro value area high, considering we got a bounce from the value area low with such bullish signals on market Cipher, and the fact that there is virtually no price action in between this area. I mean, there are some wicks down here that could give us some resistance, but, you know, look at this empty space here. I feel like it is possible that we fill that very quickly. We do also have a golden pocket right there, if you pull fib from this wick right up here. Let's see if we have any other confluence. So yeah, you could pull the fib from this wick up here, and the 382 lines up right there as well. So I like this zone right around that value area high. This was also a key support and resistance flip here. So I would be very interested in the 55-ish dollar area if we see continued upside here. But, I may be getting a little ahead of myself here. That would be a very large move to the upside if we did see that. However, I don't think it's impossible. We did have, a massive rally in the middle of last bear market. So, who's to say we can't do it again? But anyways, I think that's about it for this one. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. Really appreciate the support, everyone. And I'll see you all on my next one. Peace.